Ladies and gents, how do? I did say I wouldn't delve into the engine work I was going to on the Steve Parrish F1 bike. And after I'd said that, something came back to my prompted me to say, let's go and have a look a bit further. A good friend of mine, Denny, said, I like the videos, Chris. He said, but show me more of what's going on. Show me more detail. Okay, so here we are. Despite me saying I wasn't going to, I'm back. Okay, so we've got the transfers. One of the cylinders off the engine. These are the transfer ports. Needless to say, they've been reworked, reshaped, part of the tuning of the engine. So the original base gaskets that I have, which I showed you earlier on, aluminium backed, okay, for strength, and they're coated. So what I'm going to have to do is to reshape the gaskets so we're not masking the opened up transfer ports. Let's have a little look. So the backing's aluminium. So what I have to do is get a good sharp scalpel. You obviously all got one of these at home. I'm going to put the base gasket onto the cylinder. I'm going to put two of the cylinder alignment dowels back into the cylinder to locate the gasket, so it's not going to move around, because if I cut a bit here, turn it round, cut a bit there, it's going to be a pig's ear. So put the two dowels in, good sharp scalpel, aluminium, and now the plan is to go in. Let's have a little look. I've already done a little bit there. I'll do a little bit here just to show you. You can see it overlapping the, use a downward stroke, forward pressure, downward stroke. I hope that's coming across. So have a little look. Got a bit there. Let's cut it rather than downward, forward stroke, following the transfer port. That's off there. So, hope you can see there, we're now closely following the transfer, so the gasket's not overlapping and impeding the air and fuel mixture flow from the crankcases up to the cylinders. So compare that with that and just have a look on this side. You can see the overlap of the gasket. And like I said, the key thing is it's got to go back as it was. I could have quite easily put that on, add a little bit of a lip in there. Would it have been the end of the job? No, it would have still worked, but would we be getting performance as intended? No, we wouldn't. So that side's done. I've got this one to do. And what I said about being drawn out of fur, this section, of putting the engine back together, there's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts for it to be right. So I've got in total 8 to start off with, and may need more, these gaskets to do. Important thing is, once that's been trimmed to that cylinder, that's got to stay with that cylinder, and any other I do, stay with it, because each one will be marginally different. Okay, so the plan is that we match them to each individual cylinder. So hopefully that showed you a little bit of what we've done, just to get a smooth transfer and stop this overlap of the gaskets causing any unwanted turbulence from the gases going from the crankcases up to the top of the cylinder and the combustion chamber. Hope that makes sense. Hope it explains why it's going to be a drawn out process, just trimming the gaskets alone. But like I said, no shortcuts. I will, now I've got into this, I'll show you what we do with setting the squish and one or two other bits. I get into those later on. But I thought, I'll just come in, explain what's happening with the base gaskets. Quite expensive base gaskets. We can't mess them up. That's why I need a good sharp scalpel. Put your dowels in, cut them the way I've done. I think they're about, for 180, 190 pounds, give or take a bit, just for the gaskets. So we've got to treat them with some respect. Only use original gaskets and parts where you can, which I obviously do. I keep going on about that. Right, okay, that's hopefully a bit of an explanation of what I've been up to with that top end. I will come back and do more. And Denny, you were right to point out I should go into more detail. And here I am, doing it. Have a great day, everyone. Be lucky.